Okay, I hope y'all are feeling patriotic today. We're reading about America in this book called American Miscellany. It's full of essays, and this one about America should be classic. It was published in 1865. We've just finished reading about the gin palaces of London, and here we are on page 136 of American Miscellany, moving on to the subject of America. Essay number 58. Our eastern borders behold the sun in all its splendor rising from the Atlantic, while the western shores are embraced in darkness by the billows of the Pacific. Our country has indeed a vast extent of territory, with the diversified climates of the globe. On the one hand is the ever-smiling verdure of the beautiful and balmy south, and on the other the sterile hills and somber pine forests of the dreary north, and intermediate the outstretched region where the chilling blasts of winter are succeeded by the zephyrs and the flowers of summer. The snow-clad summits of her mountains look down on the elemental war of the storm clouds floating above the shrubless prairie that realizes the obsolete notion of the earth being an immense plain, and toward the ocean on the east and the west, upon the broad, rich valleys where the father of waters, the endless river, and the majestic Columbia, with its 100 branches, gently winds along or rapidly rush on to mingle their waters with the waves of the Pacific, the Gulf of Mexico, or the magnificent expanse of our northwestern Caspian seas. Northwestern Caspian seas. All right, could the power of vision at once extend over our whole wide domain? What a grand, ennobling scene would be presented to a spectator standing upon one of the lofty peaks of the Rocky Mountains, or, as Washington Irving aptly denominates it, the crest of the world. And then to take, upon a summer day, a bird's-eye view of all our roads, canals, railroads, lakes, and rivers, the innumerable post-coaches whirling along over our 130,000 miles of post-road, or steamers gliding magically along our waters, our locomotives shooting off like the comet upon its track, our rapid intercourse between the seaboard and the inland maritime cities, and our ships approaching and departing with the commerce of the world, with all the various complicated movements of the country, town, and city, and then, like the prior on Gronger Hill, to hear all the different musical and discordant sounds coming up to this crest of the world, if they could comprehend the entire scene from the bellowing of the buffalo, leading his shaggy hundreds over the prairies. Yeah, this was long ago. To the roar of the cataract as it shakes the earth with its stupendous plunge. With all this beneath the eye and upon the ear, well might the enraptured spectator exclaim, "What a sublime panorama!" For variety, beauty, grandeur, and sublimity of scenery, what country can surpass our own? What country can equal the life-sustaining power that slumbers in her soil? With all her wealth, improvements, and intelligence, and with our 20 millions of inhabitants, still we have but just commenced the settlement of our country, and are only on the borders of the mighty wilderness. Her undeveloped resources are capable of sustaining a free population of more than 100 millions. Good goal. A century hence, if permitted to enjoy the blessings of peace, the United States of America, with 50 stars upon her banner, may welcome at the dawning of that, with 50 stars. But didn't the 50 stars come up after Hawaii was added in 1949? Like almost 100 years after this was printed? Maybe they're hoping, maybe this is, goals, right? Goals, okay. A century hence, if permitted to enjoy the blessings of peace, The United States of America, with 50 stars upon her banner, may welcome, at the dawning of that New Year's morn, no less than 120 millions of happy freemen. How exalted may then be the intelligence and virtue of the people! The success of our efforts in the improvement of our schools and the general diffusion of knowledge enables us to make an estimate of what our posterity of the third generation are likely to become. Active must be the ardent imagination that can picture the scene at a glance. The ideal landscape cannot equal the reality, however lively may be the fancy. The idea of such a view as we have fancied to be held from the mountain top 100 years from this day can never be conveyed by words. The picture must be painted by the wonder-working power of the pencil of ideality. Our country, such is thy physical greatness, and such the intellectual and moral power that now gives promise of a glorious destiny far beyond all parallel in the annals of the world. For such a destiny may thy institutions be well sustained, and may a halo of glory play around the name of every man who honestly labors in behalf of his fellows and posterity to uphold, purify, perpetuate, and extend them. So we do have a very little blurb here, a tiny little paragraph that this publisher likes to add in kind of between essays. So let's go ahead and just read this little insert here on benevolence. Okay, benevolence. Benevolence is always a virtuous principle. Its operations always secure to others their natural rights, and it liberally superadds more than they are entitled to claim.